Parm Saran is a licensed, registered nurse with nearly 30 years of experience. She specializes in mental health and is an advocate for removing the stigma around mental illness. She is a certified therapist, coach, and motivational speaker. She is a holistic nursepreneur helping thousands with her online program, Pain to Purpose. She believes in creating your own destiny and empowering yourself, helping people live life by design and not by default. She has a YouTube channel where she encourages people to choose faith over fear and speak out against bullying, stigma, abuse, and violence. Her best-selling book, Own Your Life, Create As You Go, has inspired many to live life to its fullest potential. Parm is a wife and a mother, and her everyday message, especially to women, is do it. Because your kids deserve a mother they can brag about. She believes you can change your story to change your life and inspires people to do the same. Parm's motive is to help people find their inner power and be the person they are meant to be. Please welcome a voice of change, Parm Saran, and get ready for her show, Grow Your Greatness.
Hello everyone. Good morning, good evening, Sat Shri Akal, Namaste, Adab. I hope you all are doing great and keeping yourself safe. Today's topic, we are going to talk about addictions. The reason I have chosen this topic is I've been getting many messages from different people that they have this issue but they don't know how to deal with it. They are not calling it addiction, but they are aware that they have some kind of issue of dealing with either alcohol or drugs or anything. So that's why I decided to talk about it in general, because I don't answer the messengers. I don't give counseling sessions in the messengers. So I thought of sharing this on this wide platform. So hopefully it'll help everyone and anyone who needs to hear it. So what is addiction? Addiction is overuse of anything and everything that you can't control. So it's like using anything in excess. The definition of addiction is using, doing, taking any substance and feeling like no control over it to the point that it starts affecting your physical health, mental health, your relationships, and in fact, in general, your whole life. So addiction is intense urge to use anything, to do anything, or to be anything. It can be something you eat or drink, it can be something you use, or it can be any behavior that you do. So how do you know that you have addiction? There are two factors that you will know that you have addiction. One, you can't control it. And second, it's affecting your health on everyday basis. Now, there are different types of addictions. We in general think that alcohol is the addiction. So alcohol isn't the only one thing that people are addicted to. Addiction can be to drugs, to prescription medicines, to gambling, to doing lottery, to watching and using social media, and watching porn, or any type of behavior that's dangerous to others and to yourself if you're doing it in excess. Now, as I said, addiction is an intense urge to do anything, to eat anything, or to be anyone. So that intense urge, what is that urge? That urge is the craving that happens. I have heard people sometimes say that, oh, I drink alcohol every night, but I'm not addicted to it. What does that mean? If you are drinking alcohol in a limited amount, but you're using it every day, and you cannot control yourself from using one day, that means you are still addicted to it, but that addiction level is very low. If you have this craving, this urge to use it, and you cannot control it in that given moment of time, that means you are addicted to it. Now, addiction can be anything. It's like addiction to tea. I drink tea every day, and I drink 2 cups of tea every day. But sometimes, some days, I can go the whole day without tea. Sometimes I'm working in the community, seeing clients, one client to the other, to the other, to the other. And a whole day goes and I don't drink even 1 cup of tea. But that doesn't affect my physical health. That doesn't make me feel like craving, oh, I need tea, I need it now, otherwise I can't go. If that's happening to your body, to your brain, if something that you are not using, if something you are not eating or taking or doing, and your body is telling you like, do it now. I can't live without it. If I don't do it, I might die. So if those types of thoughts are coming to your mind, that means you are addicted to that particular substance, that particular habit, or that behavior. That's what addiction is. Now, it doesn't matter what type of addiction you are going through. It can be controlled. And it can be controlled through the same steps for any type of addiction. It doesn't matter if it's alcohol or drugs or Netflixing or social media or anything, or even to a person. You can be addicted to a person if you feel like you can't live without talking to that person. If that we call that attachment, deep attachment. But if you see it from addiction point of view, that is kind of addiction, that where you feel like you're gonna die without talking to that person. We'll leave that part for now. Let's just focus on the substances, habits, and behaviors. There are steps, I would say 7 steps to go through to deal with any kind of addiction. So first step is avoiding the trigger. What does that mean? That means, as I said, any person who has addiction, they will get craving or the urge to use, the urge to pour the drink, urge to pop the pill into their mouth, urge to go do lottery, urge to go and do gambling, or urge to scroll through the social media or Netflixing or whatever they're watching on the internet. First thing you can do is to avoid that is avoid the trigger. Now, to avoid the trigger, what does that mean is, if you know what makes you do it, what you are doing, then you can avoid it. If you know what kind of situation or scenario or thought in your mind makes you to do that certain thing, that force you to do that certain thing, then you can avoid that trigger. For example, if you know that if you go to a party, you can't avoid drinking, what you can do is you can avoid going to the party. You don't have to go to the party. If that thing is hurting your health, you can avoid that. You can politely refuse to go. Or one of my clients said, really interesting thing. They said, what if the trigger is your family member? And I was like, yeah, that can happen. If someone in your family is nagging you or you feel like they are upsetting you, and then when they upset you, that trigger you, that makes you angry, and instead of letting the anger go in a healthier way, you go and pour a glass of a drink, or you go and do some drugs, or you go out and smoke. That family member to you is a trigger. What you can do is you can avoid the altercation with that family member. You can avoid arguing with that family member. You can let yourself calm by doing either meditation or totally avoid by going out for a walk. If someone has said something that you don't like, you don't have to respond to it. You can just go, walk away from it. Because what happens, you have 5 minutes to deal with that trigger, to deal with that craving, that urge. If you can control yourself in those 5 minutes, only 5 minutes, you can avoid the big scenario. You can avoid drinking, you can avoid smoking, you can avoid using the drug. You can avoid anything that you feel like you are addicted to. Only 5 minutes. So for those 5 minutes, as soon as you feel the urge, as soon as you feel the trigger, all you have to do is 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Take yourself away from that scenario. Step out of the house. Step away from that situation. That will help you to control that trigger. Knowing is the power. Know what makes you drink. Know what makes you smoke. Know what makes you go to internet and lock yourself in a room. Know what is the trigger. Know what is the risk factor, and then you can totally avoid it. And second step is attack the urge. As I said earlier, the urge can last from 1 minute to 5 minutes. If you control yourself in those first 5 minutes, you can attack that urge. You can completely remove that urge. And it's with practice. Once you start doing it, it might feel difficult for the first couple of weeks, but once you start doing it, you will get into a habit of knowing the urge and changing it. Knowing the urge and doing something else. Knowing the urge going out for a walk. Knowing the urge talking to a friend. Knowing the urge calling someone. Knowing the urge listening to music. Just do anything else that's not addiction. So that's how you can attack that urge. And number 3 is run. Literally run if you have to. Run for your life. Run from any situation that's forcing you to go towards that addiction. Run from party. Run from that friend circle who has nothing else to talk about except drinking and doing drugs. Run from LCBO. Run from any liquor store. And avoid going to the grocery store if that's gonna force you to buy the junk food that you are addicted to. Or ask someone else to do grocery for you. Make a list and then stick to that list. That's how you can run from your daily habits of drinking, doing drugs or smoking, or any other habit that has a negative impact on your health. So run. And if you know that you're going to a party and there is going to be liquor served and you are addicted to it and that's going to hinder your health, that's going to make you feel sick, then the best thing to do is take your own drink with you. So that when someone else offer you the alcoholic drink, you tell them, no, thank you, I have my own drink. And that could be like bubbly water, that could be puree, that could be any soft drink. It could be any other drink than alcohol. Okay, that's what you can do. Bring your own drink to the party if you cannot literally avoid the party. Number 4 is accept it. Accept that you have this issue. Accept that this habit is your addiction. And accept that this is all the urge that's there. And accept that the urge comes with a thought in your brain, in your mind, and you can change it. Instead of fighting it, you can understand it, accept it, and know that it'll pass. The urge in 5 minutes will pass. And in those 5 minutes, you can busy yourself into doing something else. So accept the reality and learn how to manage your thoughts. Tell yourself that in the past, I have gotten rid of it. In the past, I have overcome this addiction and I can do it again. There is nowhere written that you cannot do it again. And number 5 is argue with that belief system that you have. If your belief is that whenever you go to a party, you have to drink. Whenever you go out with friends, you have to smoke. Whenever you feel stressed, you have to take the drugs. Now, this belief is your belief and you can change it. Ask yourself, when this belief comes into your mind, ask yourself, where is it written that I have to drink, that I have to smoke, that I have to take drugs? It's all in my thoughts. And where does it say that I cannot change my thoughts? Where does it say that I should follow the instincts, that I should follow the urge? Nowhere. It doesn't say anywhere, right? So dispute the belief that you have to have it with another belief that you can survive without it. You can survive without using it. It's all about self-control. It's all how you control this. It's all how you control your automated negative thoughts. I call them ants. You know how, have you seen, if there is one ant, it's something edible, and the ant, it's there. Within few seconds, there's so many ants get collected around that area, around that substance. That's how our thoughts go. That's how our negative thoughts go. If there is one negative thought, it's gonna attract to another negative, and within few seconds, within 5 minutes, your whole brain's gonna filled with negative thoughts. So always be aware of that one negative thought and change it immediately. Number 6, replace it. Replace what? Replace the addiction. If you are addicted to alcohol, you can replace it with coffee or tea, which is less harmful. If you are addicted to smoke, marijuana or pot or whatever you call it, replace it with vapes. If you are addicted to surfing on the internet all day, develop a habit. Find a passion. See what you feel right within yourself and do that instead. Instead of watching what's not healthy for your mind, start watching some motivational, some inspirational videos or YouTube audios. Develop some hobbies. Instead of going for that addiction habit, start painting. Do some coloring, do some drawing, start singing, start dancing, or learn something new. And last but not least, always listen to your gut feeling. Listen to what your inner self is telling you, because your inner self is always right. And do some analysis within yourself. Ask yourself how much benefit this thing is giving you and how much is the loss on the other side. For example, ask yourself, make a chart, ask yourself, drinking wine, what are the benefits of it? And then on the other side, what are the losses of it? And then what are the benefits if I don't drink? And what is the loss if I don't drink? Compare cost-benefit analysis, compare it, and then make a decision for yourself. That decision will be right for you when you think logically that what's best for you, your health, your family, and your whole life. Always remember, always learn to say no and oh. Teach your children to say no, because children can get into peer pressure. Teach your children, if something doesn't feel right, say no to it. And it's okay to say no. You don't have to feel bad for saying no. So these are the 7 steps that you can use, the tools you can use to get rid of any addiction habit. If you have any other questions, please write down in the comment sections, as I always read your comments. I will try to help you as much as possible. Till we meet again, stay safe, look after your health, look after your relationships, look after your life.